Hi, Earth people. I'm Chinghiz together with you. Today, March 29, 2024. And live streaming genocide. And genocide is genocide, no other thing. And even this Israel authority of human animals using starvation as weapon as part of the additional weapon or for commit genocide, ethnic cleansing by genocide. This unbelievable okay, in half year ago, approximately, such thing possible, real possible, because centuries, particularly last century, decade of years, particularly after World War II, decade of years, finally after end of Cold War, we think they have human values, human being life matter. This call it human rights, democracy, freedom. And international laws based on that, adopted by different conventions, several conventions. And human life matter. International law, world order, and I think majority, absolute majority even of you as people believing that they have Western countries of rule of law, democracies, which truly want protect it, back it, democracy, human rights, worldwide freedom, justice. And you was hopeful if you living in country without democracy, democracy will come to your country too. Because Western countries, United States, EU, G7, and this live streaming genocide finally confirmed, verified, finally. Your hope, humanity, was wrong. There are no justice, no democracy, no human rights in Western countries. No. As I repeatedly saying, particular in last period of time in Chinghiz life, there are some difference created intentionally between Western countries and the entire world for mislead you, misinform you, distract your mind from reality of system, which system ruled the world, and this system obviously satanic evil, but they hid that from you what created such scam. Western countries, their people, human rights, and after they are also, of course, for residents of these countries. Absolutely not. They are not democracy. Frame it from something, and this was created for show some difference. And this finally, this mask was dropped. Finally, Earth people, no do mistake. This finally, Western countries, they evil, they absolutely injustice and very bullshit, brutally for bullshit, and human life to them no matter. Own residents or others. For me, this is very heartbroken photo. Look at this girl. Today, Chinghiz live cover photo. She alone. She hungry and she angry. She don't understand why this happening to her. Why you allowed that? Nicola Perugini, a mother of 6 children in northern Gaza under Israel regime of starvation. She said, there are no vegetables, no fruits, no juice, no lentils, no rice, no potatoes, no eggplants, nothing. And they are mainly forced to eat common meal, famine. And Nicole Perugini continued to it. Kamal Advan Hospital is receiving about 15 malnourished children a day and is struggling to maintain services with a heavily damaged generator and aimed to lack of water, food, and sanitation. These are the cases which manage to reach one of the few minimally functioning hospitals. The healthcare system is on the brink of collapse as of 27 March, according to World Health Organization. 24 out of 24 out of 36 hospitals in Gaza are non-functional. 2 are minimally functional in northern Gaza, and 10 are partially functional, including 4 in northern Gaza and 6 in southern Gaza. Nicola Perugini continued. This is the condition of the malnourished Palestinian babies which managed to reach Kamal Advan Hospital in northern Gaza. Look at this video. Genocide is genocide. Live streaming genocide committed by Authority of Human Animals of Israel.
إسراء لك هدول برا بدك تحكي عن مشاهدات خلال عملك بوحدة الإعلام المكثفة في مستشفى على سوء التغذية وعدم وجود حليب يتناسب مع هذه الفئة العمرية في المنطقة. نعم. خلال عملي اتصل يا ابو العالم اتصل طولت من وحدة العناية المكثفة في المستشفى. لا لا لا
Starved to death. Felipe Lazzarini, UNRWA chief. Gaza, as of today, UNRWA, the main lifeline for Palestine refugees, is denied from providing life-saving assistance to northern Gaza. Despite the tragedy unfolding under our watch, the Israeli authorities informed the United Nations that they will no longer approve any UNRWA food convoy to the north. This is outrageous and makes it intentional to obstruct life-saving assistance during a man-made famine. These restrictions must be lifted. UNRWA is the largest organization with the highest reach to, to displaced communities in Gaza. By preventing UNRWA to fulfill its mandate in Gaza, the clock will tick faster toward famine, and many more will die of hunger, dehydration, plus lack of shelter. This cannot happen. It would only stain our collective humanity, tweeting Filippo Lazzarini, UNRWA chief. Here, tweet from John Keynotes. Short post, 12 review about Francesca Albanese, United Nations Special Rapporteur on Occupied Palestinian Territory. Important new report on the anatomy of Israel genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Reading. Later I will show short video of Francesca talking about her report. Council of Israel perpetration of genocide in Gaza Strip since October 2023. The report can be read here, and it concludes. The overwhelming nature and scale of Israel's assault on Gaza and the destructive conditions of life it has inflicted reveal an intent to physically destroy Palestinians as a group. This report finds that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the threshold indicating the commission of the following act of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza has been met. Killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to group's member, and deliberately inflicting on the group condition of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Genocidal acts were approved and given effect following statement of genocidal intent issued by senior military and government officials. This small part from Francesca Albanese's report. And here, look, is draw here many school buses, many. Seen. On sky, white. Yeah. Symbol of peace and children. And here, figures. I will read. In figure, here written, they are again school buses. Already we know more than 13,000 children killed. And this means approximately 177 buses. And missing people, I think missing children, I think already more than 50 buses. This draw was, I try find author name, but unfortunately not out here. But in memory of Dunya Abu Mohsen, 12 years old, who lost her parents, siblings, leg, and then life during Israel's genocide in Gaza. I remember her report about her. There even was video. I showed this video in Chinghiz life. Okay. Craig Mokhber. The resolution adopted by the United Nations today is for a ceasefire of only about 2 weeks. Humanitarian aid, lawful treatment of detainees, and release of hostages. Weak as it is, the United States is already undercutting it by falsely saying that the ceasefire is conditional and that the resolution is non-binding. This is false. Genocide, Joe Biden administration, even no stopping online before Earth people eyes commit false statement means at the same time, and this false statement by United States doing because United States continue fully support, aid Israel Human Animals Authority who committed and committing genocide. Other words, United States and ally, particularly Britain, fully complicit in this genocide. And for that reason, they even saying lie, doing false statement, etc. I will talk about this resolution. Now about Colombian President Gustavo Petro. Quote from Colombian President Gustavo Petro. If Israel does not comply with the United Nations Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, we will sever diplomatic relations with it. Earlier, President Pedro suspended all transactions for the supply of Israeli weapons to Colombia. Very important decision by Colombia authority, president and authority, and I call entire other countries, United Nations member, General Assembly, join to this Colombia action. Boycott Israel, sanctions Israel, there should be arms embargo, finally, all countries, including Western countries, of course. There should be boycott, diplomatic boycott, other boycott, product made it in Israel, particularly occupied territories. And of course, Israel should be suspended from United Nations. And additional sanctions there should be. Financial sanctions, trade sanctions, what possible should happen. Those people can't be, means countries around the world can't be sit and watch how this live streaming genocide happening. I say. Craig Machiber, the United States has shown itself willing to burn down the house, to tear down the entire international legal framework to defend one genocidal apartheid state, distorting humanitarian law, abrogating the Genocide Convention, and declaring Security Council resolutions non-binding. Why? I think that Rothschild and core people, finally, but today I start Chinghiz Live about that, finally, there no hope, no do mistake, only action, our action together. They have faith to Satan who ruled the world, on the system which ruled the world, financial system. And they fully own United States, Britain, EU, Western countries, so-called civilization, political establishment, fully own, control it. And the media, so-called mainstream media, there's no hope. There should be action. Sam Saini, United Nations General Assembly, Resolution 377A, 377A. The, quote, United for Peace resolution state that in any cases where the Security Council, because of a lack of unanimity among its 5 permanent members, fails to act as required to maintain international security and peace, the General Assembly shall consider the matter immediately and may issue appropriate recommendation to United Nations members for collective measures, including the use of armed force when necessary, in order to maintain or restore international security and peace. It was adopted 3 November 1950 after 14 days of assembly discussions by a vote of 52 to 5 with 2 abstentions. When this United for Peace resolution passed and what this means, this United for Peace resolution, is actually nowadays the live stream genocide and Security Council failed act for stop this genocide. And their General Assembly have powerful opportunity act without United Nations Security Council. Which one I read. And same saying continue to reveal these opportunities. Possible United Nations General Assembly actions on the Uniting for Peace. 1. Suspend Israel from United Nations General Assembly participation. 2. Admit Palestine as member. 3. Urge sanctions against Israel. 4. Set up criminal tribunal and prosecute Israeli officials. Very crucial, important. Francesca Albanese about her report. Here, 2 short video. This first.
One of my key findings is that Israel's executive and military leadership and soldiers have intentionally distorted rules of international humanitarian law, distinction, proportionality, and precaution in an attempt to legitimize genocidal violence against the Palestinian people by deliberately stretching the definitions of human shield, evacuation orders, warnings, safe zones, collateral damage, and medical protection. Israel has used their protective function as humanitarian camouflage, with the effect of concealing patterns of conduct from which the only inference can reasonably be drawn is a state policy of genocidal violence against the Palestinians. Denial of the reality and the continuation of Israel's impunity and exceptionalism is no longer viable. I implore member states to abide by their obligations, which start with imposing an arms embargo and sanctions on Israel, and so ensure that the future does not continue to repeat itself. The world now sees the bitter fruit of the impunity afforded to Israel. This was a tragedy foretold. While the International Criminal Court will have to deliberate, while the International Court of Justice will have to deliberate, the International Criminal Court will have to investigate. It is my responsibility to remind you that the Genocide Convention includes a jus cogens norm and erga omnes obligation to prevent the commission of genocide, a reality the International Court of Justice recognized as plausible exactly 2 months ago. The time for states to act was then, and as they did not, the time is now. The catastrophic situation I investigated is known, as it has been broadcast to the world in real time by its victims. Astoundingly, rather than halting its momentum, A minority of powerful member states have provided military, economic, and political support for the atrocity, compounding the devastation it has wrought for the Palestinians. In this assault, the sixth and most egregious in 16 years, Israel has killed more than 30,000 Palestinians, including 13,000 children, more than the children killed in all conflicts worldwide in 4 previous years.
Questions? Is condom from State Department of United States can, because they're fully complicit in this genocide, can try downplay this very important, very great report by Francesca Albanese. Even they try and do that. This Miller, spokesman of Human Animal, Anthony Blinken, the John Kirby, White House spokesperson, human animals, they're acting this form as human animals. The international law norm, they are fact check, confirmed, verified. They are genocide. And last order by International Court of Justice also exactly show that Israel committing genocide in Gaza. Their demand without delay on this order: allow all humanitarian aid and also create additional for allow humanitarian aid, additional checkpoint, means additional cross point into Gaza, and also demand with immediate effect militaries stop intervene for block humanitarian aid, because block humanitarian aid directly violating genocide convention, means genocide. This International Court of Justice yesterday's order. And this means obviously Israel authority already committed genocide, and International Court of Justice showed this point, because they already famine coming, inevitable. Who did that? Of course, Israel authority and Israel military. And therefore, demanding by immediate effect, stop of that, stop intervene into humanitarian aid. And their full list, which aid, all should be allowed into Gaza without delay, by immediate effect. Also demanding Israel authority fully collaborate with United Nations. Means they passed United Nations Security Council resolution about immediate ceasefire, and Israel should allow this Security Council resolution and implement immediately. This is also written on this order. But we know and seeing Israel ignoring this resolution, not will implement. And this means an International Court of Justice demand that Israel shall collaborate, means shall implement the United Nations Security Council resolution about immediate ceasefire. There should be measures because Israel again refusing to implement this Security Council resolution. And there should be measures, sanctions. Who will do that? United States violating international law, Security Council resolution, all binding resolutions. This is about Charter of United Nations, Security Council. Even United States, this genocide Joe Biden administration, they have no bipartisan support from Congress. They are genocide Donald Trump. There are no difference between them. The election time and their videos will blah blah about peace means humanitarian aid made, stop war more, but they continue financing, arming Israel. Kenneth wrote, quote from article, okay, between October and around December 1st, 2023, the United States, between October and December 1, 2023, the United States transferred about 15,000 bombs and 57,000 artillery shells to Israel. From December 1 to now, means March, those total transfer numbers have increased by about 15%. That's aiding and abetting, here written war crimes, but actually the genocide, Kenneth wrote. Why are you avoiding use the genocide? When there's genocide, Kenneth wrote. Okay? For that reason, two, United States continue back this live streaming genocide, even try downplay passed by Security Council resolution, pathetically calling this resolution non-binding, which is binding, falsely saying that. So, United States doing anything for continued support ethnic cleansing of Gaza by genocide. their Rafah operation, ground operation. United States continue back Israel. Their playbook, blah blah. No listen, they blah blah. Watch what's happening in crucial points. And this means if they are ground operation Rafah camp, they will to really genocide in steroid. Means much more worse than now. Much more worse than was in Yugoslavia, Srebrenica, and other genocides. So, and they also sex violence, another true face of human animals. They accuse Hamas, falsely accusing Hamas of sex violence, falsely. But they fact check Israel militaries. Their sex abuse, sex violation, rape against Palestinian women, girls and women. Francesca Albanese, United Nations Special Rapporteur on occupied Palestinian territory. I lost count of how many renowned journalists interviewed me on the alleged mistreatment of sexual abuse against Palestinian women by Israeli forces and never published any article on this. One day I will give a full account in my memoir. She replied to tweet from Reem Al-Salem. Reem Al-Salem tweeting, together with other colleagues, I have expressed our alarm regarding accounts of rape by the Israeli occupation forces in February this year. It is abhorrent that such reports of sexual violence continue unabated, not to mention that this is but one of multiple forms of violence that Palestinian women are subjected to on the basis of being Palestinian and being women. Rape and other forms of sexual violence can constitute war crimes, crimes against humanity, or a constitutive act with respect to genocide. It must stop. And she replied to tweet from Mariam Al-Dosari. Mariam Al-Dosari tweeting, women in Gaza are being raped and this is not being investigated or reported. Canadian doctors volunteering in Gaza have reported. And Miriam Al-Dosari replied to tweet from this tweet from Middle East Monitor. Middle East Monitor tweeting, women in Gaza are being raped and this is not being investigated or reported. Canadian doctors volunteering in Gaza have reported women being sexually humiliated by Israeli occupation forces in front of their families. One woman was raped for 2 days until she was unable to speak, yet nothing is being done about it. Clinical professor of medicine Dr. Aliya Khan tells Middle East Monitor. And here, this video. This Dr. Aliya Khan, Union of Medical Care and Relief Organization. She from this organization.
I'm receiving reports from my colleagues who are on the ground now, and I just received a report that the Al Khair Hospital, which is next to Nasser Hospital, has been attacked, and the paramedics there informed the physician that a woman was raped for 2 days until she lost her ability to speak. Women are being raped, and this is not being publicized. No one is speaking about this in the Western media. Political leaders are not talking about this. Women are being raped. Another woman in the Nasser hospital was stripped of her clothing in front of her husband and brother. And when one of them took their clothes off to cover her, the Israeli soldiers killed both the brother and the husband. You know, this is unbelievable that this is happening today. Where are our leaders? Where is the global community? We have the International Court of Justice saying that there is a plausible genocide happening, and we have asked Israel and the United States to stop these attacks immediately. And there has been a complete blind eye, a complete disregard of the words of the International Court of Justice. Women are being raped, children are being bombed to bits, and pregnant women are being mowed over by bulldozers. And these are unbelievable, horrific crimes, war crimes. Massacres are happening every single day.
And a flash from Israel. 7 October witness Yossi Landau fails to substantiate claims in Al Jazeera investigation. 7 October witness Yossi Landau, so-called witness, he lying. And here, video, watch how Israel, through the human animals, how they baselessly accusing Palestinians for the possible this live streaming genocide, including against children, including this sex violence against women, girls, all of that. For do this ethnic cleansing by genocide. For that, they falsely accuse Hamas baselessly about beheading babies, about their massive rape which not exist. Watch this human animal.
There was an interview we did with Sky Television from Britain. 2 piles, we found them in Bury. 2 piles of 10 children each were tied back to back and burned to death. Now again, I mean, if we look at the death figures at Bury, there are only 10 children that died at Bury.
Well, not children, it's 18-year-old. So we all together, when you look at them and they're burned, you don't know exactly the ages. So we're talking about 18-year-old, 20 years old, and you just don't look on the spot identification to see the ages or something like that.
It is not the only questionable story that Yossi Landau tells about Kibbutz Be'eri.
How are he playing?
We go further.
No? How he playing? This all fresh.
Then we see
look at his face.
woman.
Look. How do
She
freshly
was
all this talking.
lying
Even
on the floor,
cry.
a puddle of blood.
Because he
Big puddle of
knew
blood.
what he doing and for what he doing.
She was a pregnant woman.
For this genocide, for this ethnic cleansing of Gaza.
Her stomach was butchered open.
Human animals of Israel authority
The baby that was
activists.
connected to the cord
Yossi Landau.
was stabbed. She was shot in the back.
Kibbutz Be'eri has denied this account.
The story of the pregnant woman reported by Zaka is not relevant to Be'eri.
Yossi Landau insists he witnessed this scene at Be'eri.
If you want to see the picture, I have the picture of it.
Are you able to share the photographic evidence
Yes,
with us?
to show you. Yes. Where's my phone? Oh, I'm sorry. I will not put it in front of the camera.
No, that's fine. I'll come and look.
This is the knife they used.
Shot, killed, but
Over here was the woman.
But that's the imagery after the bodies had been cleared away. Oh.
Yes. This is the baby. This is it.
I'm sorry to be graphic here, but I can't see a baby here.
You can't see the baby but this is the picture of the mother. For sure, we didn't think when we didn't think to camera everything. We didn't have that. This wasn't in our.
The photo shows an unidentifiable piece of charred flesh. The list of the dead contains no victim that fits Yossi Landau's description. On October 7th, 2 babies die. One is killed when a bullet is fired through a door. The other dies following an emergency cesarean after the mother is shot. Neither is burned or beheaded.
You being someone who, with your own hands, with your own eyes, with your nose, you smelled this, what would you say to that person who's downplaying what took place here?
I wouldn't say anything. I would ask, please give me. He should be together with the Hamas terrorist, and he should be killed because he's a part of it.
How they lying? Nothing, all baseless. He not even can show this photo. He say have, but you think they are nothing. Even. And they knowingly all that doing. Lying fashion. And about university, Julia Steinberger. I need everyone, especially in academia, to watch this clip and understand what Maya Wind is saying when she says that Israeli universities are deeply complicit in the Gaza genocide. Hebrew University is helping define targets. Tel Aviv University is developing arguments against human rights. And she replied to tweet from Democracy Now! And Democracy Now! Tweeting. From this tweet from March 15. In the West, Israeli universities are considered bastions of pluralism and democracy, but they are a central pillar of Israel regime of oppression against Palestinians, say Maya Wind, author of Towers of Ivory and Steel, How Israeli Universities Deny Palestinian Freedom. And here, shortly, video clip from Maya Wind. Support academic and cultural boycott of Israel. Call it this tweet, this clip. And she.
Israeli
Maya.
universities are considered bastions of pluralism and democracy, but in fact, Palestinian faculty, scholars.
Sorry. Yeah, about volume.
Israeli universities are considered bastions of pluralism and democracy, but in fact, Palestinian faculty, scholars, students, activists have for over 2 decades contended that they are a central pillar of Israel's regime of oppression against Palestinians. So PACB, which is the Palestinian Campaign for the Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel, issued a call back in 2004 to boycott Israeli universities on the basis of this complicity. And as my new book shows, Israeli universities are indeed deeply, deeply implicated in the violation of Palestinian rights. And as you began in the opening segment, it is important to note that Israel has destroyed every single Palestinian university in the Gaza Strip. So it is not only committing genocide, but also what Karman Abulsi and other Palestinian intellectuals have long called scholasticide, the intentional destruction of Palestinian education. And this genocide is not only enabled by the rise of the far right or overzealous military leaders, it is in fact central. It is part of a project, an over 75-year project of the Zionist movement and the Israeli state to eliminate and replace Palestinians with Jewish Israelis. So genocide is structural to the Israeli state and is sustained by its most liberal institutions, including its universities. And just now, it is not only that Israeli universities sustain apartheid and violence against Palestinians for decades, but they are currently participating in this genocide. Hebrew University, among others, are training intelligence soldiers to create target banks in Gaza. They are producing knowledge for the state, whether it's Hezbollah, which is state propaganda, or legal scholarship to help thwart attempts to hold Israel accountable for its war crimes, such as the case brought to the ICJ by South Africa. And they are, in fact, actually granting university course credit to reserve soldiers returning from Gaza to their classrooms. So Israeli universities are deeply complicit in this genocide.
Israeli university is deeply complicit in the genocide. But not only Israeli universities, United States, Harvard University, Columbia University, Cambridge, even in Britain, in Germany, universities. And students, I waiting, students will more actively protest that, will most actively organize protest demonstrations before their university and even joining to massive protest demonstration on their city, country, because they are live streaming genocide, Harvard student, genocide. You can't be silent. How they immediately take control of Harvard University by replacing the president of Harvard and organizing several visits to their genocide supporters, including, I think there was known figures. They alarming from acting, but you students, including Harvard students, you can't be silent when they are continuation of that live streaming genocide, now famine, including famine, which inevitable. And genocide is genocide. About climate crisis, already all bad, very bad, because humanity failing take this reality as exist. Your reaction, including the live streaming genocide, United Nations General Assembly not yet, and big question why? They not yet not acting, not using this United for Peace resolution. For what you waiting, General Assembly? And Arab countries, shameful, including United Nations General Assembly, very passive as part of, as supporter of this genocide or who supported the genocide. Because United States, Britain. But time for act. There's Singapore Foreign Ministry already joining to Malaysia, Colombia, South Africa, very continue is very important action, including using World Court, International Court of Justice. Naledi Pandor, Foreign Minister, very actively acting, action very important. And other countries should be joined. And finally, now, without delay, we're all waiting. United Nations General Assembly will invoke means United for Peace resolution. For suspend Israel, for allow Palestine as full member, for launch sanctions against Israel, all that measures, including embargo, army embargo, diplomatic embargo, trade embargo, all that, without delay, Together, all nations should join, and this will work. Not several countries will back, several countries will absent. This not. All come together and act as one team, and you will see United States, others, they are talking about their political establishment, not about their people, not about United States people. This is not about Britain people, and to say how their political establishment pathetic, evil and pathetic. They are not able to stop us. And time for common our action by implementing, invoking United for Peace resolution without delay, with immediate effect. I say. Okay. Today, this, Earth people, I am Chinghiz together with you. I say,